All right, welcome to another new week for the CFO Swinger Watch. Welcome to all the new subscribers from last week. So if you guys don't know what this video is, it's a quick technical analysis breakdown of all the names that I'm sharing with you guys this week. So let's get right to it. So with the market, we are still at all-time high levels. We've been sitting around this 440 to almost 442 level until last week when we decided to gap down on bad earnings reactions from Amazon and Pinterest. But on Friday, we were able to kind of hold the previous level of resistance around 438 as a new level of support. However, we did make lower highs on the 2-hour time frame here. And this is kind of warning us that there might be another leg move down back towards this 436 area. Now, if we do break the 438 level and we break below the 436 level, I will be very, very cautious going to any long-term entries because that means we can flush all the way down back towards this weekly trend line that I've been telling you guys on SPY. And that could be around 430. So that's around roughly almost a 9-point move there. So like that would probably affect a lot of names, especially names that are heavily weighted in the S&P 500. But yeah, that's mostly what I have for you guys. SPY did reach my target of 440 and even higher, as it usually does. And it seems like we can potentially go sideways from here or digest this entire move that we had last week. Okay, let's look at our first name, which is UPST. So this was a name from last week as well. And last week, we just chopped around between this area of around 125-ish, 128-ish to 113-ish, okay? That's a pretty big volatile range there. I'm expecting a tighter range to form this week as we start heading towards earnings next week around August 10th, I believe. Yep. And so far it looks a bit bullish to me because we've just been going up and down after this big flush down from the highs of 191.89. And whenever we just go sideways like this after big reactive impulsive moves like this, there tends to be a total trend shift. And in this case, I'm expecting a trend shift to the upside. Now, the other factors that kind of tell me that the momentum is shifting towards the upside is this 10 SMA, this red line, is starting to cross this longer term SMA, the 21 SMA, which is this light blue line. And if we have this crossover of these two SMAs, I would like to see the 10 SMA starting to support the way up as the price decides to jump higher and higher and higher. Eventually, I expect the price to have a huge resistance area around 130, which will also be close to this 50 SMA, this daily 50 SMA, which is my dark blue line here. But so far, everything still looks great for UPST. I just need to see that quick momentum shift towards the buyers. All right, let's look at Tesla. So Tesla has a wall of sellers around the $700 mark. Okay, there's always a huge amount of orders on whole number levels, and for Tesla here, 700 has always been that big level that has been used as resistances and supports. But for now, it's acting as a huge area of resistance. And from what I saw on level 2 when I was tape reading, there was a huge amount of orders to sell at 700. So if you're able to just completely break through those sell orders, we can see a huge squeeze upwards. All right, and just based on what the chart's telling me, this is basically telling us that we're looking to see another squeeze higher, maybe up even more up to the 800s level and maybe to the all-time high levels as well. But it's been keeping a nice range here, a pretty wide range for Tesla, to be honest, from 620 to 700. But as we tighten up here, as we're making higher lows, which is always good to see during an uptrend, I would like to see this breakout above 700. The most immediate support that I'm looking at will be 672, and below 672 will be around 665-ish. Okay. Now, actually, before I move on to Roblox, let me also mention the volume for Tesla here. So, Tesla, the volume has been absolutely insane for the past 2 trading days of last week. Um, and just based on the volume alone, I could see more of a blast of a move towards 700. And if you're able to have more buyers and sellers here, we can see the prices bidding up higher and higher and higher until we're able to sustain the 700 level and stay on top of it, uh, making buyers a lot more prominent than the sellers on the $700 line. Okay, and you guys should be able to see that on level 2 if you guys use level 2. Um, just generally though, I do believe that short term Tesla could continue up higher with all these SMAs here, and especially when the SMAs are coiling like this together, they're entangling with each other, and with the daily 50 SMA covering upwards, potentially showing a golden cross with the 200 SMA here, which is my yellow line here. I'll be expecting another explosive move higher as the prices tend to move away from these larger SMA lines, which is the 50 and the 200 pairs. All right, to the last name, Roblox. Roblox is looking very, very nice here after this big explosive move out of this IPO base from 61-ish to around 78 to $80 range. I'm starting to finally digest the move. Now, we've pulled back completely 100% since the area, ever since we broke out of this 78-ish resistance. And I'm expecting another bounce from this little tiny range of 76 to 78, because 78 was the previous price level where the price decided to break out. All right, so if you're able to hold the 76 support again, all right, we should be able to see another big move higher. Now, the general chart pattern that I'm seeing here is this macro falling wedge, which is a very bullish chart pattern. And thanks to this digestion that just happened here from this big movement up, and with the amount of time that has passed as well, that's been forming this chart pattern, I should be able to see a nice big pump upwards. As the price is looking to kind of hug this downward trend line of resistance more than the support line here. Okay, so this descending support line has only been hit, around 3 times here, and every single time the price comes back down to this descending support line, we immediately bounce, and we don't exactly stay near the support line, which indicates to me that the price wants to stay near this descending level of resistance rather than the descending level of support. And that's always a good sign to see, especially when you want to see a bullish breakout. All right, let's look at the extra names here. So Square has earnings this week, all right, on August 5th. Okay. And that could be a very good catalyst for a very quick run up and then a sell off right before earnings. And if you're able to catch that run up, that could potentially be a very, very nice return, because when stocks do their usual run up to earnings, they tend to run a lot. All right. But with Square, it's showing a very big macro symmetrical triangle or wedge, and this certainly looks bullish so far. But with the uncertainty of earnings reaction, I will not be playing this. But this is a name that you should be watching even after earnings, because there's news over the weekend that Square was going to buy out Afterpay. It's an Australian company that allows e-commerce brands to buy now and pay later. And that type of market has been increasing lately as people are starting to really spend a lot because of the fact that they're not going to be paying immediately. But a lot of people can see that as a problem into the future, and it can potentially be something problematic to the economy as people are starting to not pay what they bought. So that could be a warning sign to the economy. But so far, Square is going to buy out that company for, I believe, somewhere in the billions. So with that acquisition, that will make Square even a bigger company, all right, as a payment company. And Square has been seeing such a strong run up since March 2020 lows of $32, and it's now at 247. So it looks like a great growth company so far as a fintech company as well. But if we're able to break this digestion kind of a big macro bull flag here to the upside, we could start seeing 300s. Okay. But with this descending level, descending trend line level of resistance here, we might need to break around 260 to have a confirmed bullish breakout to the upside. So I'll be drawing this resistance here, and you guys should do that as well. But yeah, for Square, I highly recommend for you guys to watch it even after earnings. All right, next is Alibaba. They've been having some serious issues with the Chinese government cracking down on any big private company. But Alibaba, I said this many weeks ago as well, that it's fairly undervalued here, and where it's trading at currently, below $200 per share, I would say it's even more undervalued, and it's fairly at a good price where you might want to start adding some long-term leaps contracts or even equity. But for Baba here, we are also making a very, very huge falling wedge here, with the top being back in October or early November here, okay, or back in late October, excuse me, and with the high of $319.32. So with that high, we are, I believe, percentage-wise, around 40%. Okay, around 40%, and so there is a lot of selling pressure as well, especially with the government cracking down on these names. But overall, it seems like we need to be able to reclaim this 200 price level in order to see some significant upside momentum. All right. So the next extra name is Skills. Okay, so Skills also has earnings coming up, and I do not have a position in this name, but Skills has been looking pretty good so far. But technical wise, I am expecting another move lower. I wanted to hit around 12.50-ish, and if we're able to bounce on there, we would see a triple bottom, and I believe that would be a great price to get in. And if you're able to get in at that bounce around 12.50, we could see some good profit taking around 16.80-ish or even $17. Okay, Laser. So Laser is a name that I pointed out last week, I believe, and it's been doing exactly what I wanted it to. And we also have earnings coming up next week, and Laser has also been one of those names that have been bought up by investment firms like crazy, and it judging from previous last week's price action, we were able to hold the 7.50-ish to 7.60-ish range that I've been wanting to see, and so far it's looking great to head up higher. It's doing exactly what I wanted to, where it's kind of holding this range and starting a range from 17.50 to around $19. Okay, so if I see a little bit more of a base forming like this, I'll want to see a break above $19 and eventually back up into the 20s. Okay, so that is it for this week's names. For the cryptocurrency pick, I would be looking at Bitcoin still. All right, so Bitcoin has been very, very strong. It crossed above that crucial 40 to 41,000 level of resistance, And so far, right now, it seems like Bitcoin is not able to hold that area because of a very big, unhealthy, impulsive move that we had the past few days. But if we're able to come back down and treat this area around 38,000 uh, and treat it as an area of support, a strong area of support, we can potentially see more upside as well. Now, I do want this 21 SMA, my light blue line, to catch up here. And I believe the price is doing just that as it's starting to go below 41,000 again and trying to come back down and digest the move that it had a couple days ago. All right. Okay, so that is it for this week's names. Please trade safe and have a great rest of your night. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and comment below any other names that you might want me to look at. But yeah, good luck with your trading. See you next week.